Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace and it is a Monday today, and in today's video I'm going to basically be trying to re-find the sort of spark and enjoyment that I typically have in summer when working a 9 to 5. I don't know what it is this year. I've been really struggling to kind of enjoy sort of just my evenings to myself. I think potentially because the weather has just been so diabolical in London recently. Like today alone, it's so grey and so cloudy, but I'm hoping that the weather is meant to get brighter and sunnier as the day goes on. I haven't got anything too formal planned today. I had quite a slow, relaxing start because I went to Harry Styles on Saturday and I was feeling a little bit worse for wear on Sunday. So I felt like I just needed the extra sleep and like a slow start this morning. So I was just sat reading in bed. I've been reading the newest Elsie Silver book called Fever Dream, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I have read a lot of Elsie Silver books and I really enjoyed her Chestnut Spring series. The other two series, Off to the Races and the Wild Love series, they were okay. I didn't love them. They weren't like, oh my gosh, I can't put it down. Whereas Chestnut Springs really was. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Fever Dream. It feels sort of more in line potentially with how she wrote Chestnut Springs. So I had a lovely morning just reading in bed basically. And then the rest of the day is a little bit up in the air. I am working from home, so I think I'm probably going to pop to the gym on my lunch break. And then maybe after work I might go to the Lido. I've been debating on going to the Lido for a couple of weeks now, but the weather's just not really been good enough. And I've been trying to be a little bit more sensible with my spending, particularly on weeknights. So I don't really necessarily feel like I should be paying to go to the Lido when I have free swims included with my gym. But obviously it's nice to be outside, so I find it hard to go to the gym at the minute because I don't want to be inside, I want to be outside. So yeah, potentially might go to the Lido after work if the weather is playing ball. The rest of the week is still relatively up in the air at the minute. I have some work drinks on Wednesday evening, but I don't think I'll probably stay for too long. And then I have a non-working day on Friday, so need to think about what I want to do with the actual day. I really feel like I need to get a haircut, so I might go and do that. But basically this is just a video that's documenting the things that I'm getting up to in my free time around my 9 to 5, with the caveat that I don't want to spend an awful lot of money midweek, because that means that by the end of the month my budgeting is just like fully out the window. So most of the stuff that I'm going to try and do is things that I pay subscriptions for, so like yoga or going to the gym. Maybe occasionally I might pay to do something like go to the Lido, but that's like less than £10. But yeah, I'm just going to see how we get on, and just hopefully in documenting it and being more intentional with how I'm spending my mornings and evenings, I'll start to feel a little bit more excited about spending my free time at home and in my local area. So if that sounds interesting, please feel free to carry on watching, and let's see what we get up to this week. I'm just currently sat in Brockwell Park under a lovely tree. I think it might be an oak, but I'm not very good with my tree anatomy. I should try and get better. I've just been for a really nice walk. I did a slightly different route to what I usually do, and actually decided to weave through the gardens more. I went into the walled garden, which was so beautiful. It's in full in bloom. I was getting lots of inspiration for like colour combos and different flowers, which I might potentially want in my wedding bouquet and wedding flowers. And I'm just taking a little break under a tree because I don't feel like going home just yet. It's only about 6:30 and it's just such a nice evening. It seems a shame to go back and sit inside or sit on the terrace when I could be sitting under a lovely tree and watching the world go by. I decided not to go to the Lido today just purely because the weather is meant to be nicer on Thursday, and I thought that might be a treat. I'm not working on Friday, so it's kind of a nice way for me to end the week and sort of like have my weekend start with a bit of a bang, I suppose. So I've done quite a lot today. I did, I think, about 40 minutes on my lunch break at the gym, and then I've obviously been for a walk this evening. When I get home, I'm kind of toying between what I want to do. I might potentially start making some extra nameplates, place cards for mine and Ben's wedding, because I know that's going to take forever and it's a nice little craft that we're working on. I'm starting to practice metal embossing, which is a skill I've not done before and a craft I've not tried. But I thought it was quite interesting and a bit of a different way of doing place cards on a wedding table, as opposed to just doing like printed or paper ones. So I guess we'll see how that ends up turning out. I'm fully prepared that I might do it and then not like it, but to be honest, the metal embossing kit that I bought was like £10 for the sheets of paper and the tools that I'm using, so I don't mind. I don't mind if it doesn't look good or I change my mind, and also it's quite mindful and meditative, so I might potentially start doing a little bit of that. I want to do it in small bits and bobs. I don't want to like sit and do hours at a time because I think that will become a bit tiresome. So I might do sort of 5 to 10 names and then crack out the knitting, as I always do on an evening. But yeah, it's been quite a productive first day of the week. I've got some plans that have started to solidify for weeknights as we move through towards sort of the end of the week. I have to say I haven't been doing a lot of stuff midweek recently, and I've really noticed a dip in sort of my mood and energy, so I'm trying to make a bit of a conscious effort to try and put some midweek plans in with friends. As I mentioned earlier, I have my work drinks on Wednesday, but I've also been invited to go and watch England's first football match for the World Cup with some friends potentially on Wednesday evening, so I might go and do that. It's just really annoying that the kickoff starts at 9 p.m, which is really late. Probably won't finish till like 11, and I have to be in the office on Thursday, so if I go, I definitely don't think I'll be there for the entire thing unless it's a really good match. We'll just have to see, but I know that Ben really wants to go, so that might potentially be something that we do. I'm obviously going to Lido on Thursday, and I've extended the offer to 2 friends who really like swimming and really like Lido to see if they fancy going with me, but if not, I've already bought my ticket, so I'm quite happy to be working on that myself. Apologies, there's just a plane going over. And then Friday, I'm still sort of toying with what I'm going to do. I might potentially book to go to Camberwell's community sauna, but there's also a gallery that Ben and I really fancy going to, which is also opposite 2 really good cafes that we like. So there's plans in motion, just not fully confirmed just yet. But yeah, it's been a very nice day, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the week brings. I've spent the morning journaling on my terrace in the sunshine, which has been really nice. I have been relatively consistent with my journaling this year. I would say I probably have made at least one or two contributions. I don't know what word I'm thinking of. Paragraphs, sections to my journal since the start of this year, which is pretty good for me. Previous years gone by, I would often write when I was having a little bit of a bad day or my mood was quite low, and I would find that I'd probably write maybe like once every 3 months and not be as regular or consistent. So I'm really trying to learn to sort of write even when things aren't feeling bad, so to use it as a way of exploring happy feelings, or just to kind of reflect on things that are in my mind at that moment in time, whether or not they are good, bad, or don't really have sort of like a moral standing. It's been really nice actually. I feel like it's set my day up really well. And I don't have much else planned for today. I'm going to be going for a walk after work with a friend on Wandsworth Common, which I'm really looking forward to because the weather is definitely starting to get a bit nicer. And unfortunately I've got a day at work that means that I don't really have any time to do much over my lunch break. Usually I have an hour's lunch break, but just with the way that meetings and sort of work commitments have fallen, I'm probably going to have to work through lunch, which is fine. So I guess I'll update you when there's more to update about, and I'll take you on the walk with me as and when that happens. I'm just back from a very impromptu gym session this afternoon. I was meant to be going for a walk with my friend, as I mentioned earlier today, but I got halfway to the train station on my way to the park that we were meeting at, and she called me to say that she'd accidentally locked herself and her car keys out of the house. And the park that we were meeting at is in such a location that for her, where she lives, on public transport, it's not really doable. So she was needing her car obviously to drive there, and she didn't have her car keys, couldn't get them. So I ended up having to quickly gear change. Luckily my gym is right next to the train station that I was heading to, so I went and did a impromptu gym session instead of going for a walk, and it was fine. It was quite busy, unsurprisingly, because it was a weeknight, but I managed to find a quiet space on the free weights floor and did a little arm workout and then some cardio afterwards. I found myself feeling a little bit sad whilst I was there, not because I was angry at my friend or anything, but just because I hadn't left the house that day, and my sort of outside time and social plan time was obviously based around the walk that we were going to have together. So I was just a little bit sad that I wasn't outside in the sunshine and also catching up with her, but I was glad to still sort of manage to fit in a little bit of exercise without, managed to fit in some exercise despite the plans changing. I've just got home and had a shower, and I'm just about to start making some dinner for myself and Ben. I don't think I've got any interesting plans really this evening. It's going to be very much the same as my previous night. I might do some knitting and probably sit out on the terrace whilst the sun is still with us. I was really optimistic that this video was going to be quite interesting and I was going to do different things every day, but I think actually increasingly it's becoming just spend the week with me rather than do lots of interesting and different things with me. Hopefully that's okay, and it's still interesting, even if it is a little bit routine in what we do. The rest of the week there are quite a few plans starting to take place. I'm going to watch the football tomorrow evening, and I'm seeing a friend on Thursday to go and swim at the Lido, and then believe I'm going back to the Lido on Friday as well, just because the weather is so good and I live so close that it seems a shame not to do that. But yeah, that is the end to my Tuesday. Not what I expected, but still managing to make it into a successful and productive day. Grace from the future here, just to say that this microphone has done absolutely nothing for the sound quality of this video, so apologies for that. I will be trying out a different one soon once I figure out which one I'm going to buy. Good morning everyone. Hopefully this is working. It's my first time using this microphone, which literally arrived from Amazon last night. It is Thursday today and I am just getting ready to go into the office. I'm going in a bit later this morning because I had quite a late night last night. I went to watch England's first World Cup match at a pub in Brixton. It was very raucous, as can probably be imagined. I was really between two minds if I was actually going to go, just purely because I have an event that I'm hosting at work today, and I don't know, I was just thinking that it would be not really my cup of tea, like football hooliganisms and stuff. Hooligans, I try and avoid at all costs. But it actually was really nice and enjoyable. And my friend Kirsty had booked a bench table for us, so that was much better. Kept us a little bit more hidden from the fray, so to speak. I will say there was a group of guys behind us, and I got absolutely drenched in alcohol every single time that England scored, and they scored 4 times. And even outside of that as well, they were just flinging around pints. And me and my friends were just saying, in this economy, how can they afford to do that? Pints are £7 in London at the minute. I also popped to a pub near my office just before. I went to this bar in Brixton because it was 2 of my colleagues leaving drinks, but I was only there for 1, and I didn't want to film that just because it's not the right vibe, to do that. As I said, I'm going to go into the office shortly, and then this evening a friend and I are going to Brockwell Lido together, which I'm really looking forward to. I really enjoy an outdoor swim, but I haven't actually done one in London yet this summer. It's not really been the summer for it really with the weather. Saying that, it's still very grey, but it's meant to go up to 24 degrees and hopefully some sun will come through at some point today as well. So it should be a pretty nice day. I think Ben and I have decided that we're just going to go back to the Lido again on Friday because it's meant to be 30 degrees on the weekend, so we've got the non-working day. We thought, we might as well make the most of it. So I guess we'll see how we get on. I'm actually going to take some crochet into the office with me today as well, just because, I thought I might potentially do some at the Lido this evening, but I also have a massive 3-hour long listening meeting. I'm not going to be hosting or anything, I'm listening. So I thought maybe I might be able to do some during that. I'm in a very relaxed office, the workspace is it's very good for staff well-being, so I don't think that would go down negatively, but I guess I'll just gauge and see how it feels. I'm going to be making a smaller version of the raffia bag, which I spoke about in my very first video. My friend saw the bag, really liked it, and has requested one similarly. She saw a smaller version of something similar on Vinted, and she's asked if I could potentially make my version of that. So I think it would take me a lot less time, just purely because it's I would say probably smaller than an A5 sheet of paper. Maybe it's around the size of an A5 sheet of paper. So whereas the bag I made is probably A4, between A4 and A3. So yeah, should be pretty quick. I don't think I'm probably going to finish it this week because I go to Spain on Saturday, and I think I'm going to take my breezy long sleeve because I feel like I really need to lock in with that. I'm a bit nervous about taking knitting needles on a flight, but I think I need to just try. What's going to be the worst thing if they take it away? It'd be quite cheap to get some of the replaceable ones because I've got the interchangeable needles. I just need to make sure to pack some stoppers just in case they do take them off the cables, so I don't lose all my work on the breezy long sleeve. But yeah, I can just imagine myself sitting by the pool, working on that, and who knows, maybe I'll get a fair bit finished. I don't think I'd complete it before the end of the holiday because that would just be too much good luck, but yeah, we'll see how we go. So it's been a pretty good week so far. I feel like I've done quite well with keeping up to my aim of trying to do things that are pushing me a little bit out of my comfort zone. Last night was hard for me. I am such a creature of habit, and I have like sort of like pre-organized rules and routines inside my own week, and I don't really like being out late on a weeknight. So Ben and I, we did leave maybe like 10 minutes before the end of the football, which I was so glad about, because the pub that we were in, honestly, they must have had about 600 people. Like, it, to be fair, it was more of a sort of like a rooftop bar. I'd say 600 people maybe were there. So even just leaving the bar, I think, would have been long. And then everyone obviously is then leaving Brixton to go back to their respective homes. So yeah, we left a little bit early, managed to jump straight on a bus, and I think we were back home by sort of 11:10. So I was pretty chuffed by that. But yeah, I feel good for it actually. I was a bit nervous about coming in, like going out late last night and then going into work today, but I only had 2 drinks, and it is 9:10, so I'll be in the office for 10, and we do a lot of flexible working, so should be totally fine. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week so far. Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. It was a real week of 2 halves. I think it started off quite slowly with a lot of sort of self and solo time, and then obviously picked up a lot of speed towards the end, understandably, as I got closer to the weekend. I found this week really fun, but I will be completely open and say that I find things like this very difficult. I am a big creature of habit, and I can find it difficult to break away from routines and systems that I've put in place for myself, even if those systems don't always feel the most useful or productive in the moment. I like the idea of being healthy and saving money and being quite regimented with my time, so I often don't make plans to go out midweek or see friends or do things that are a little bit different or far away from the house. And in the moment, sometimes that feels like a good idea. A lot of the time towards the end of the week, I often find myself feeling grumpy and irritated because I haven't done anything of worth or merit. So whilst there were moments where it felt quite difficult to go out and do these things, I've ended the week feeling much more refreshed and sort of ready to take on future weeks like this. I actually go away on holiday as of tomorrow, so I am gonna put all of this hard work to the back door for a moment and just rest and relax whilst away with my parents in Spain, but hoping to kind of re-kickstart my intentional journey of spending free time doing fun and creative things on days that don't have to be Friday evenings, Saturdays and Sundays. So I'll see how I get on with that. I know it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, and having to just unlearn that I have willpower and I can do things outside of my sort of self-inflicted routine. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.